Pioneers are explorers. Pioneers are innovators. Pioneers are leaders. We are Marietta College. We are pioneers. Find out how you can become a PIO at www.marietta.edu.
A freight train derailed in Ohio, leaving hazardous chemicals in the air.
An Ohio police officer will not be charged after shooting a man responding to a report.
We'll have these stories and more. NewsCenter 15 starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Wednesday's edition of NewsCenter 15. I'm Haley Lanham.
And I'm Addison Painter.
Topping our news this afternoon, a city bus crashed into a daycare center north of Montreal, Canada on Wednesday, killing 2 children and injuring 6. The driver was charged with first-degree murder. A bystander ran into the center of Laval, Quebec, and she said she saw children screaming and crying and also watched a mother collapse. Others panicked. Parents watched when they diverted to a nearby elementary school by police and emergency personnel. After a crash, witnesses says the driver stepped off the bus and proceeded to rip his clothes off while screaming frantically. The man is facing 9 charges, including first-degree murder, attempted murder, aggravated assault, and assault causing bodily harm. He had no criminal history and a clean work record, police noted. Canadian government officials say that the crash was not a terrorist act and did not pose a threat to national security, although police have determined that the crash to be homicide and were no skid marks leading into the daycare. It also noted that 3 parents had to strike and detain the driver before police could arrest him.
A family friend of rapper XXXTentacion broke down Tuesday as he told jurors how he and the famous rapper were ambushed by armed robbers as they drove away from the motorcycle shop. Leonard Kerr's testimony highlighted the opening day in the trial of the 3 men accused of fatally shooting the rapper on June 18, 2018, in his BMW sports car after leaving a Riva Motorsports parking lot near Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Kerr recalls 2 men jumping out with guns, and a taller man pointed his weapon at him and told him not to get out of the vehicle. The other perpetrator was trying to pull off the rapper's gold neck chain, at which point Kerr decided to escape, pushing the button that opened the passenger door. Kerr said when he looked back, the taller man shot XXXTentacion twice before getting back in their vehicle with a $50,000 bag. Michael Boatwright and Trayon Newsome are both accused of being the gunmen and linked to the shooting by surveillance video and cell phone location.
Hey, I wonder what the weather looks like today.
Here to provide our first look at the current conditions is Landon Santini.
Thank you very much, Addison. Well, today's Wednesday, going on Friday. Today, we're experiencing a bit of a cool down thanks to the rain we got last night overnight. Today feels about 32 degrees with an expected high of 39. The UV index is at a moderate level of 3 with an excellent air quality level of 18. Thanks to the rain we had last night, that also leads to a very low pollen count, so very few allergies for people to have to worry about today. The winds will be running around the west with will be running around the west at about 9 miles per hour. The humidity is roughly 73% today, and looks like the sunrise is happening a little bit earlier today, and the sunset will be happening earlier today too, about 10 after 5. So that tends to happen as we trudge along more and more through the season that is winter. Now, as we continue on through the remainder of the week, the rain we've gotten last night will persist towards the end of the week, and that'll lead to some cooler temperatures as we get closer and closer to the weekend. But we'll talk about that in a bit more detail when I return later on for the 5-day forecast. Until then, back to you guys at the desk.
A freight train derailment in Ohio near Pennsylvania state line left a mangled, charred mass of boxcars in flames on Saturday as authorities launched a federal investigation and monitored air quality from the various hazardous chemicals in the train. About 50 cars derailed in the East Palestine carrying a variety of products from Madison, Illinois to Conway, Pennsylvania. So far, there is no cause to the derailment and no known injuries or damage to structures reported. Mayor Trent Conway declared a state of emergency, stating that the train derailment had hazardous materials with air quality monitors throughout 1 mile zone ordered to evacuate, which later had no dangerous readings. East Palestine officials said 68 agencies from 3 states and a number of counties responded to the derailment and helped with evacuating the nearby area. Thankfully, nobody was harmed.
Ohio police officers who shot a man while responding to a report of a possible burglary used lethal force appropriately and won't be charged, according to the Cincinnati area prosecutor last Friday. Body camera footage shows the 2 officers urging Joe Frazier Jr. to stop as he nearly hit one of them as he drove a van towards them in a confined space between 2 buildings. Though it is unclear whether Frazier was trying to intentionally target police or to flee, the officer's response was deemed reasonable by the Hamilton County prosecutor, Melissa Powers, because they felt their lives were in danger as Frazier accelerated. The 28-year-old Frazier, who was from Lawrenceburg, Indiana, died Tuesday at a Cincinnati hospital, according to the coroner's office. The original call from the officers were responding to a possible burglary happening at an apartment building that was supposed to be vacant. Authorities later revealed that Frazier and his father fled the scene when police confronted them behind the building because they had active warrants related to previous charges or convictions. Frazier's father told WLWT-TV that they were there cleaning up an apartment of a relative who had recently passed.
Coming up, more details on the Chinese spy balloon.
Stay with us.
Hey, this is Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, many of us feel anxious. Mindfulness can help you ease those feelings. My nonprofit is partnering with Headspace to offer free content to help you stress less. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace.
Here's to the straggly ones. The first ones. Hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
The Biden administration says that China's military is likely behind a major aerial spy program that has targeted more than 40 countries on 5 continents with high-altitude surveillance balloons, similar to the one the U.S. shot down over the Atlantic coast last weekend. The statement Thursday from a senior State Department official offered the most detail to date linking China's People Liberation Army to the balloon that traversed the United States. The Biden administration says China has developed the vast surveillance program capable of collecting sensitive intelligence. The public details are meant to refute China's persistent details of wrongdoing, including a claim Thursday that the U.S. accusations about the balloon amount to information warfare against Beijing.
A dolphin skull was found in someone's luggage last week, according to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The bag was scanned through an X-ray at the Detroit Metropolitan Airport, where a skull-like shape was detected. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is now investigating further.
Hundreds of thousands of students who have dropped off public school rolls since the start of COVID-19 pandemic are unaccounted for. An analyst by the Associated Press, Stanford University Big Local News Project, and Stanford Education professor Thomas D. found 240,000 students in 21 states who have gone missing from schools. They do not move out of state, and they do not sign up for private school or homeschool. Early in the pandemic, school staff went door to door to get kids, but most such efforts have ended. D says the data suggests a need to understand more about the children who aren't in school and how that will affect their development.
A New York City police officer wants his badge back after federal prosecutors dropped charges alleging he worked as a foreign agent for China. Officer Banadaji Angwang spent months in a detention center after his 2020 arrest. Prosecutors initially said he passed information about New York's Tibetan community to Chinese consular officials. But they abruptly dropped all charges January 19th, saying they were acting in the interest of justice. Angwang tells the Associated Press he wants to go back to work on the force. He also wants an explanation for why he was charged and what authorities learned that made them drop the case.
Spirit producers have bragging rights on aged-old whiskey versus beer barroom debate.
We'll also get the latest from Hollywood.
And we'll be experiencing a bit of a cold spiel as we get closer and closer to the weekend. But how quickly will that be coming? Stay tuned for the 5-day forecast after this.
Where are we?
We're at Marietta College.
This is where we live, at Marietta College.
When kids need medical care, they face life-changing experiences. They miss out on the things that make being a kid fun. Starlight Children's Foundation programs entertain and inspire hospitalized kids. Learn more at starlight.org.
Marietta, a place some people call home.
A place of athletes.
A place of discovery.
A place for the future.
Your plan.
Your future.
Go Pios.
Producers of spirits have new bragging rights in the aged-old whiskey versus beer barroom debate. Figures show spirits surpassed beer for the U.S. market share supremacy based on the supply revenues. The Distilled Spirits Council of the United States made the announcement Thursday. The rise to the top was fueled in part by the cocktail culture, including the popularity of ready-to-go drink concoctions. Tequila and American whiskey have a strong growth. In 2022, spirits gained the market share for the 13th straight year in the U.S. beverage alcohol market. Its supplier sales reached over 42%. Beer was right behind it.
Cheryl Lee Ralph is living a career dream. The Abbott Elementary star won her first Emmy last year and lends her powerful vocals as a Super Bowl pregame performer this weekend. With all her success, the veteran actor-singer only wishes her late parents were alive to witness her recent accomplishments. Ralph will hit Sunday's Super Bowl stage to sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. The other pregame performances include country music star Chris Stapleton, who will sing the national anthem, while R&B legend Babyface will perform America the Beautiful. Rihanna is the featured halftime performer.
Michael Irvine has been pulled from the remainder of the NFL Network Super Bowl week coverage after a complaint about Irvine's behavior in a hotel Sunday night. The Hall of Fame wide receiver went on a Dallas radio station on Wednesday and said he was asked by the network officials to move to another hotel on Monday night after he described as a brief encounter with a woman. NFL Network spokesman Alex said Irvine would not be a part of the network's coverage the rest of the week. Just in case you haven't heard enough of reality TV, another megastar offers his family to the spotlight, and Taylor Swift fans get a big dose of her range as an artist.
Here's Landon with the Hollywood Minute.
Thank you, Addison. Well, first it was Rocky, then Rambo, and now a certain big screen star is trying out reality TV. Sylvester Stallone is giving it a try. He'll be joining his wife and 3 daughters in a new series entitled The Family Stallone, an 8-part series set to premiere this spring on Paramount+. In other news, Lizzo is officially a superhero, at least in her new music video, Special. The title track of her latest album, the artist was up for 5 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Album for Special, as well as Record and Song of the Year and Best Pop Solo Performance for About Damn Time. Lizzo won Record of the Year at this year's Grammys. Lastly, Taylor Swift had a pre-Grammy surprise for her fans, a new vinyl edition of Red, Taylor's version, colored Yup Bright Red. The track, I Bet You Think About Me, was up for Best Country Song at this weekend's Grammys, and the long version of All Too Well was up for Best Music Video and Song of the Year. She ended up winning the Grammy for Best Music Video at this year's Music Awards. In your Hollywood Minute, I'm Landon Santini.
Thank you, Landon. Now we'll head back to Landon for a look at our extended weather forecast.
How's it look out there, Landon?
Well, in our neck of the woods, it looks relatively calm for the moment, but if you look up at our northern neighbors in northern Ohio and the states surrounding the Great Lakes and the southern area of the Canadian border, you can see that they're dealing with a bit of a mixture of rain and heavy snow themselves. That tends to be the case the farther up north you go. And we had a little spiel with rain last night, and that tapered off some of the warmness of the hottest day of the year, of the hottest day of the week yesterday. We're experiencing some of the last lingering bits of that heat today, and it's going to be coming right above us as the rest of the day and the week continues. It's just going to miss us, but we should be some lingering bits of it as we go on later on in the rest of the week. Tomorrow, actually today on Thursday, we're going to be experiencing mostly cloudy conditions with an expected high of 37 to finish off the rest of the day. Starting the weekend tomorrow, that will decrease a little bit with partly sunny conditions, an expected high of 35, and that will be steadying out as we continue on Saturday with an expected high of 35, partly cloudy conditions, cooling down even further for the churchgoers on Sunday with an expected high of 32. And then as we get into the next work week on Monday, the temperatures will start warming up again a little bit on Monday with an expected high of 42 and mostly sunny conditions. So, like I said, the rain's going to miss us. We might get lingering bits of it here and there, but it doesn't look like we're going to have that much of a heavy downpour. And that's going to make things a lot easier for people to make special plans for something special that's going to be happening in the next week over the weekend. But we'll talk a little bit more about that when I return at the end of the program after we talk about sports. I'm looking forward to that. Until then, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Landon. When we come back, Evie will join us with the update of the world of sports.
See you in a few.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course.
He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him.
Oh, the fridge.
Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs a water bottle.
Now he's just got to get out of there.
Look what dropped from the sky.
Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Marietta College, home of the pioneers. A small town on the Ohio River with tight-knit community, and tons of opportunity. Find a home here at Marietta College. Bring forth a pioneer.
What are we gonna do? Ta-da! All right. Come on, every pony. Woo!
Liza, I just love how ponies are better together.
Me too. You know, same thing with Girl Scouts, Kamiko. Every day they make each other shine a little brighter.
And they make the world around them a better place. So join Girl Scouts.
And be a part of the friendship and magic.
And now we're back with Evie for the Look of Sports.
What's been happening in the world of sports, Evie?
I can give you the rundown now. Kevin Durant's time in Brooklyn has ended. The Nets agreed to trade him to the Phoenix Suns. A person with knowledge of the details says the Nuns will send Cam Johnson, Michael Bridges, Jay Crowder, 4 first-round picks and additional draft compensation to the Nets for the 13th time All-Star. The Suns also received forward T.J. Warren in the deal. The person told the Associated Press on condition of anonymity because the trade is not yet official. Durant was moved just days after the Nets traded Kyrie Irving from the Dallas ASTU. From diversity to concussions, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell reiterated the league is still looking for improvement. As for officiating, he says, it's never been better. Goodell addressed those topics and more, including the Washington Commanders' investigation, flex scheduling, and international play in his annual Super Bowl news conference Wednesday. D'Amico Ryans became the NFL's 3rd black head coach when Houston hired the former Pro Bowl linebacker and 49ers defensive coordinator. Ryans joined Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin and Tampa Bay's Todd Bowles. There are 3 other minority coaches, including Miami's Mike McDaniel, who has a black father and identifies as biracial. This year's Super Bowl features a rare matchup of the NFL's top 2 teams from the regular season. The Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs were the league's only 14-game winners, marking just the 6th time since 1970 merger that the squads with sole possession of the 2 best records in the regular season met for the championship. The last time it happened came after the 2013. Patrick Mahomes says he's definitely in a better spot when it comes to his allying right ankle than he was for the AFC Championship game. The All-Pro quarterback also says he doesn't expect to be limited by it when he leads the Kansas City Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. Mahomes spoke before Wednesday's practice at Arizona State's facility. He said he'll probably continue to get treatment on the ankle he hurt against Jacksonville in the divisional round throughout the week and possibly right up until kickoff. Now that's all I have in the world of sports. I'm Evie. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Evie. Joining us now at the desk is Landon for the last look at the weather.
Well, to quickly sum it up, we're going to be experiencing a bit of a cool down as we go into this weekend. We had lingering bits of rain up north thanks to the rain we had last night, but it shouldn't be affecting us too badly throughout the rest of the weekend. That should do the students of Marietta College good as the weekend comes, because now we have a lot more time to plan for 2 special things that are happening next week: Valentine's Day and Marietta College's Day of Giving this next Tuesday. You guys all looking forward to that?
My bank account is definitely going to be suffering for Valentine's Day, but that's going to be all right. I think over the weekend I might have to get you a chair, Landon.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hurting my knees to constantly bend down like that. I can't do that for very long.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll save your knees and we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thanks for joining us today on Thursday for this edition of WCMO TV, Channel 15 at noon 30 and 6:30. From all of us here at the station, we wish you a great rest of the week.